Welcome to Keys to Success. On this show, we will motivate, educate, and entertain you. Now here's your host, Mr. Kirk Clarke.
Good evening and welcome to Keys to Success. I am Kirk, and tonight I promise you an exciting show. But just before we get any further in this, let's go for a quick commercial break.
Shop at Rosignol, right on George Street. Fresh bread, fresh pastry, the best cut summit. At affordable prices, they could never beat a friendly staff to serve you. Come and you'll see it. Come shop at Rosignol, right on George Street. Fresh bread, fresh pastry, the best cut summit. At affordable prices, they could never beat a friendly staff to serve you. Come and you'll see it.
7374 Church Street between Cummins and Light Streets, or call 223-0004 Rosignol. We meet your needs. For the best commercial signage and so much more, call Fast Graphics on 225-1099 or 622-7113. If you'd like to change the look of your car, why not wrap it? Call 225-1099 or 622-7113. Why not put your business on a banner stand and showcase all that you can? Call us today on 225-1099 or 622-7113. Fast Graphics, located at 28 Railroad Line, Kitty. Call us today, 225-1099 or 622-7113.
Confidential Hands, the best firm.
231-8600, 231-8601, 231-4000, 231-4001. We are available 24 hours a day, and our base is at 25 Ernica North Road. Confidential cabs, 231-4000, 231-8601, 231-4001, 231-8600. There's only one taxi service that you can depend on, and that is only Confidential Cabs. When you think of quality customer service, think of Millennium Manor Hotel, located at Hatfield Street. Call us for reservations, 223-05-4123, or send us an email at info@millenniummanor.com.
If life was to end right now, how would you be remembered? Like, how will somebody think about you? Every footstep that's ever taken while you've been on this earth is accounted for and will be counted one day. We all got to face Judgment Day one day. So I found out very early in life, there are no breaks in life. My greatest pain I've ever had in my entire life, I'm 39 years old. I'll be 40 in 3 weeks. And for the first time in my life, 33 years old, 39, 33, and the first time I actually had a chance to meet my father. And it bothered me so much because I used to look at myself in the mirror sometimes and say, I know I'm who I am. Now the question remains, why inside of me there was a burn that has never stopped burning. There was a grind that I made up in my mind. The first time I fell on my knees, I'll never forget it. I'm praying as I'm falling on my knees. And I was a junior deacon early, and I fell on my knees. And the first time I heard God's voice, he said, can you hear me now? But I'm asking to hear Daddy's voice. Every Christmas, I'm sitting at Christmases with a bag packed. I got a t-shirt in the bag and one pair of jeans. I got a toothbrush but no toothpaste. And I'm saying, Daddy got to come today. Daddy got to come this Christmas. Daddy never came. Daddy never came. So I had a decision to make at a very early age. Would I fold, or would I make up my mind to be remembered forever? I made up my mind to be remembered forever. I did it. I did it. And you know what I did? I did it my way. I did it my way. And today, I need a young man to change their attitude of life and do it their way. There's somebody sitting in this audience that has one thing to do. The moment you leave here, make up in your mind that I'm a different person. Make up in your mind that there's something way greater than me. And everybody in this room, this day, can have a real change on somebody's life by the way you live your own life. No pain lasts always. No pain. I can do all things. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Welcome back, welcome back. And that was, for me, that's my 2017 video, Ray Lewis. And it's very important as an individual, as a person, to find yourself. And tonight, I want that video to bridge the person that I have in studio, because we're starting and we're launching off leadership, and leadership with a difference. And this young man that I'm going to introduce, not to you just yet, I don't want you to see him just yet, but this young man that I'm going to introduce to you, I know him for many, many moons. I wouldn't say since 1902, but he's not that old. But he's somebody that I totally have a lot of respect for, and now he has gone beyond his steps and his ages and his stages, and he's now written a book that is, for me, on the brink of being a bestseller. And I'm going to tell you this because I started to read this book, and immediately I started to share with a lot of people what this book is doing and how it's transformed who I am. And I was preparing for this show. And while I was in the studio tonight, I was still reading further and further, even though I know I can't get all that in the show. But that's how interesting this book is. And I immediately hit up a friend of mine, Allison Connolly. I hope you're looking tonight. She works at Parliament Building, and she said, "Hey, Kirk, if you're reading that book," and I started showing her some stuff, and she said immediately, "I can relate to the first 3 things that you showed me." And I'm not at liberty now to tell you. We're going to get that in the show. But Allison immediately called up Gary and just give it away. And he got the book. So she's now reading the same book. But tonight my guest is Gary Thompson. And he has written a book. And this book here, and we're going to feature, this is the book we're going to be featuring tonight. And this is all about self-application. I'm getting tongue-tied, don't understand why. Self-application of best practices, transforming the mind. This is a phenomenal book. So tonight, I welcome my guest, Gary. Welcome to Keys to Success.
Thank you, Kirk.
All right. Now, before we get into this big book right here, let's talk a little bit about, of course, people are always curious who you are, where you hail. Just give us a brief overview from, tell us a little bit about Gary.
All right. I'm going to be very simple and very short.
Sure.
Currently, I'm a business development consultant by profession. I'm a humanitarian by nature, and I'm the author, certainly, of this book, Self-Application Best Practices. I believe that what drives me is my commitment and passion to see people grow. And what I would keep saying, it doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter where you're at. You can make a decision right here and right now that you want to open a new chapter in your life with the great things to happen in your life. And great things can happen. The dominant thought always manifests. And once you recognize and connect with your greatness, and you take the right step, and that's exactly why you write Self-Application Best Practices, to help people to connect with themselves, to connect with strategic approach is to embrace success. And we believe that once they are socialized to what is in this book, great things would happen. I've made a decision that moving forward, I want to commit my life to give service to humanity. And that's Gary Thompson in a nutshell.
Good, good. That's interesting. Because my next question is, this book, why did you write this? I know you brought it out a little bit, but what was the real motive behind writing a book of this nature?
All right. Many might recall in 2016, I think it was the 17th of February, we launched Guyana Speakers and Leaders Academy. In the launch of that program, the focus behind the launch of that program is to nurture the next generation of global thinkers, transformational leaders, and what we call the proactive leaders. And in launching that program, I believe that I didn't want to just teach the program. I want to make sure that we can have a book. So this book will serve both as a manual for all the students who will come through the Speakers and Leaders Academy program, and the book will also be on the bookshelves for those persons who want to read and give themselves that motivation from the book itself. And I must say some great things has already started to happen with this book.
Who are your target for this book? Who were some of your target audiences?
All right.
The professional, the office people, or?
The way the book is written, it is certainly written for anyone who wants to be better than they are today, for anyone who wants to be successful, for the entrepreneur who is not complacent where he's at and he's thinking about regional and international market integration and competing with the bigger companies. It is written in such a way to give him the kind of information as to how he can organize himself to be more relevant to the global demands and to be better able to integrate his content into regional and international trade. But I think that if you want to single out a specific demographic, we'd want to say is for the entrepreneurial mind. But of course, as I'm saying, if you're not an entrepreneur, but you think you want to become an entrepreneur, you think you want to become a leader, you think you want to become successful in terms of whatever you're doing, this book is for you. If you want to be successful in terms of managing your family life, because remember the chapter 1, we talk about the importance of family.
Don't bite there too fast. Don't bite there too fast. We're gonna get there, Gary. I'm gonna build you up to get there, Gary. Okay. But before, what I want us to do right now, I know we've got to go pay some bills. But when we come back, we're gonna talk to Gary because he said something on page 9 that tickled my fancy, and this is the reason that caused Allison to buy the book. On page 9, Gary talks a little bit about the failures of identifying your purpose, passion, and gifts. I want to find out what is he talking about when we come back right after these messages.
Come shop at Rosignol, right on George Street. Fresh bread, fresh pastry, the best cut summit. At affordable prices, they could have never beat a friendly staff to serve you. Come and you'll see it. Come shop at Rosignol, right on George Street. Fresh bread, fresh pastry, the best cut summit. At affordable prices, they could have never beat a friendly staff to serve you. Come and you'll see it.
7374 Church Street between Cummins and Light Streets, or call 223-0004. Rosignol. We meet your needs. For the best commercial signage and so much more, call Fast Graphics on 225-1099 or 622-7113. If you'd like to change the look of your car, why not wrap it? Call 225-1099 or 622-7113. Why not put your business on a banner stand and showcase all that you can? Call us today on 225-1099 or 622-7113. Fast Graphics, located at 28 Railroad Line, Kitty. Call us today, 225-1099 or 622-7113.
Confidential Hands, the best firm in
231-8600, 231-8601, 231-4000, 231-4001. We are available 24 hours a day, and our base is at 25 Ernica Knott Road. Confidential cabs, 231-4000, 231-8601, 231-4001, 231-8600. There's only one taxi service that you can depend on, and that is only Confidential Cabs. When you think of quality customer service, think of Millennium Manor Hotel, located at Hatfield Street. Call us for reservations, 223-05-4123, or send us an email at info@millenniummanor.com.
Welcome back. Now, Gary, I know you were jumping to chapter 1, don't know why. Let's talk a little bit about page 9. In page 9, we're talking about many people live and die unfulfilled. Let's start there before we work our way in, or you can work your way in from there, Gary. What do you really mean when you say that?
The reality is that every single one of us, we are bursting with potential. We are bursting with greatness. But the reality is that no one really gives you the kind of exposure and the training for you to activate that greatness within.
That's true.
And that's precisely what I'm saying there. I believe that everyone, or most people that I know, they want to attain success. But regardless of that desire, most persons do not have a clear mental picture as to the stepping stone to embrace success. And as you go through the book, we talk about a formula to success. And we put a lot of emphasis on the issue you spoke about before we went for a break. In the book, we make a lot of emphasis on the importance of you understanding who you are. It's what we call you connecting with your deeper sense of self. Anyone that connects with a deeper sense of self will understand their purpose. You know, many persons in the world today do not understand what purpose is. We are simply living. Many of us are living a life that doesn't necessarily reflects the deeper sense of self. It reflects our mom, dad, uncle, and aunt recommendation for what we should do. It doesn't necessarily reflect who we are. So the book speaks a lot in chapter 1 about helping people to connect to who they are, helping people to connect to what we call their gifts, helping people to connect to purpose and passion. In the book, we certainly spoke about what purpose is, and I explained that regardless of what we do, our purpose is to serve. And let's look at it. You go to school, you get your master's, you get your doctorate. What do? Do you park it up and say, I'm a doctorate, and you pump your chest up and that's it? You serve. You serve as a doctor, you serve as a lawyer, you serve as a teacher, you serve as a mechanic. You serve. We give service regardless of what we do. But it's a trick in giving service too. Because many of us give service, but there's what we call aligned and non-aligned service. If you're serving in an area that is not aligned to your deeper sense of self, you're not going to get the satisfaction that you want to get in terms of what you're doing.
So now, you're talking about people who go to work, who do what they do, but at the end of the day, still feel unsatisfied.
Because they're not aligned. Because most of those persons, mom, dad would have said, study law. I want you to be a doctor. I want you to be an engineer. But it's not that mom and dad has bad intention. They want the best for you. But I believe that in one of the best for the people that are closest to you, it's not necessarily about imposing your will and your desire on them. It's not about they living your dream and your fantasy. It's about us as leaders, as adults, as parents, spending time to help them to understand what are their gifts and their talents and their purpose. And we help them to build their substance of selves in alignment with who they are. And that's when you excel. I make the statement because of the fact, when we look at Bill Gates, Bill Gates he has an honorary degree. But come on, most of us, we can't put our foot in his shoes because he followed passion. We look at Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs probably didn't even graduate.
We used to look at Steve Jobs.
Used to. The late Steve Jobs.
Sorry.
He probably didn't even graduated from high school, but still is an innovator, a creator, a guy with tremendous substance. Why? Because he follows passion. We go way back to the days and we look at people like Andrew Carnegie, the man who's responsible for America building up skyscraper. Smart guys, but a lot of these guys wasn't exposed to a lot of the academic theory. But what they were connected to is that deeper sense of self, is that search for greatness, is that search for stepping stones and methodology that could bring them into...
Let me ask you how this reacts into this, because in part of your book here, and I'm reading here on page 30, it talks about the traits and characteristics of a proactive leader. I'm getting tongue-tied all night tonight. The proactive leader and the result-driven manager understands the importance of nurturing a culture, because you said here culture is everything, nurturing a culture that promotes high-performance workforce. This is a dream of realizing the high-performance workforce. I can go on and on about this, but explain what you really mean in this, because again, you go into 31, identifying and connect with purpose, to identify and connect with passion, and to identify and connect with one's gift, is the only sustainable approach to promoting a culture of high performance. Explain that.
The reality is today, you ask any corporate managers, what are some of their desires? They want to know that the human capital within the organization are at their peak level of performance. And the methodology that has been used over the years are strong writers like Abraham Maslow, who is one of the greatest motivational theorists that we have. And his techniques are still used in modern management today. And but as I would have said, I believe that there is a missing link in the theory. Now, we use money to motivate people. We use non-financial incentive to motivate people. But what we are seeing is that what happens to the individual that is now attain economic wealth? Money doesn't motivate him to function in your organization any longer. So what we're simply saying is that it is important for the organization, in an effort of creating a culture of high performance, to engage the individual to the point that they understand the individual at the level of DSS, deeper sense of self. As the book we explain is that when that individual, when as a human resource manager, you understand, you help the individual to connect with that deeper sense of self, and that deeper sense of self is aligned to the organization vision and bottom line, that individual is now functioning in the organization at a level of passion. It's no longer finance. Not that we say that finance is not important, but it goes way beyond finance. You are now functioning in an environment that you feel passionate. It's no longer work anymore because you're coming to the environment because it is something that I was born to do. I was born to speak. I was born to provide this kind of service. You feel totally connected to what you're doing.
So then, in other words, you're saying the HR department should now mold people to find the DSS within each individual within an organization.
It's a tough task, but I'm saying that if you want to create an environment of sustained high performance, you have to start looking at these things. And in the book, we have given you a glimpse of what is possible. And here's where we talk about the human psychological anatomy. We all know about the human physical anatomy, but what is the psychological anatomy and how relevant it is to helping the individual to connect to what we call the deeper sense of self, their passion, their purpose, and their gifts. And once they make that connection, well, you could go to sleep and they will work.
I hear you.
They are committed to the process of moving systems and corporate sector, public sector forward. They're committed to that process. I know that we're not going to touch base on that today.
No, because what I want to do, as much as this is interesting, I'm sorry, I just got a signal. I got to go again. We got to go for a short break. But when we come back, I want to tickle Gary's fantasy a little bit, because in this book, he talks about, on page 35, he talks about a visualization board. Yeah. In most cases, we talk about it as the dream board. And I want us to get into that a little bit, because we can get into it when we come back, right after this.
Come shop at Rosignol, right on George Street. Fresh bread, fresh pastries, the best cut summit. At affordable prices, they could never beat. A friendly staff to serve you. Come and you'll see it. Come shop at Rosignol, right on George Street. Fresh bread, fresh pastries, the best cut summit. At affordable prices, they could never beat. A friendly staff to serve you. Come and you'll see it.
7374 Church Street between Cummins and Light Streets, or call 223-0004. Rosignol. We meet your needs. For the best commercial signage and so much more, call Fast Graphics on 225-1099 or 622-7113. If you'd like to change the look of your car, why not wrap it? Call 225-1099 or 622-7113. Why not put your business on a banner stand and showcase all that you can? Call us today on 225-1099 or 622-7113. Fast Graphics, located at 28 Railroad Line, Kitty. Call us today, 225-1099 or 622-7113.
Confidential Hands, the best firm.
231-8600, 231-8601, 231-4000, 231-4001. We are available 24 hours a day, and our base is at 25 Ernica Knott Road. Confidential cabs, 231-4000, 231-8601, 231-4001, 231-8600. There's only one taxi service that you can depend on, and that is only Confidential Cabs. When you think of quality customer service, think of Millennium Manor Hotel, located at Hatfield Street. Call us for reservations, 223-05-4123, or send us an email at info@millenniummanor.com. Welcome back. I know time is against us. Gary, let's talk about the vision board and the visualization of your purpose. Tell us a little bit about that.
No, the reality is that each and every one of us is supposed to be working with a visualization board. Let me put it this way. When you're building a house, what you do, you draw a plan. Some people might say the first thing we do is build your foundation, but no, we develop a plan. The plan is your visualization board. Your plan tells you exactly where the column and the beam and the windows and the doors and the steps and everything is going to be. Why? Because your concept is well documented on the building plan. Can you imagine that you want to build your life and you don't have a visualization board? You don't know where you are today. You don't know where you want to go tomorrow. You don't know what stepping stones to take to get to where you want to get, but you're just living your life. The reality is that most of us, that's how we live our life, because when we hear a term like visualization board, it sounds too taboo. Why taboo that? But the reality is good. We need to live our life with structure and systems. And I believe that when one understands the significance of the visualization board, because in the book we talk about it. We believe that it's important. I believe it's very important for you to have a visualization board for your personal life. You are supposed to be asking yourself, what quality lifestyle I want me, my children, my wife, my family to have. And you're supposed to commit to it, because in reality, what I'm saying, if you can measure it, you can monitor it. And if you can monitor it, you can control it. Right. So you're just living in a free fall. And I think it's futile to be living life that way. And that's precisely one of the reasons that why most of us do not embrace the kind of success that we want to embrace in life. Right. So in a nutshell, that's it. But we're going to get into this further.
We will. Gary will come back on this show. But Gary, just before we go, people want to know how they can get this book, how they can buy this book. Do you have a number? You have a location? This is going to be in stores. How do we do this? Very quick, 30 seconds.
Good. What I'm going to say for now, anyone that wants to copy the book, kindly call me. The number is 650-6231.
I'm sorry, you just got to slow that down.
It's so fast. Yeah, the number is 650-6231.
Good.
And also the book can be accessed at T&J bookstore in Regent Street. And as time progresses, I will certainly give you more. But the reality
what's the cost of this book right now?
The book is just $5,000. But what I want to say, don't look at the book. We don't want to just give you this book, Kirk. We want to mentor you with this book. And because of that, we want to give away a partial scholarship. And in the next program, we'll talk some more about that scholarship program. We literally want to train you. We literally want to hold your hands. We literally want to put you in business. We literally want to mentor you in your business success. So it's not just putting the book out and that's it. We want to work with you until you come to that point of success.
Again, thank you for joining us in Keys to Success. I know it's been exciting. I know it's jam-packed. But time has caught up with us and we need to go. Again, I'll be here next Tuesday, same place, same time. Bye-bye.